Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
Matinee baseball from Miller Park, Milwaukee, and the roof is wide open. The sun is out finally after rain showers this morning. Feels like summer again. Kyle Loesch is on the mound today for the Brewers. He'll match up against the Chicago Cubs, and Milwaukee trying to make it a clean sweep of the Cubs as they'll bring in the Cardinals tomorrow. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson, and we welcome you to Day Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And Kyle Loesch back on the mound. He's always a great guy to have on the mound in the final game of a series, and especially when you're trying to complete a 4-game sweep.
Yeah, and he was outstanding his last time out against Cincinnati. It's all about making adjustments for guys out there in the mound. Kyle Loesch has had a nice long career because he's been able to do that. Everybody figures Kyle Loesch is going to be the off-speed guy, the curveball, the changeups. But against Cincinnati, he established the fastball and just continued to throw it. The sinker, the cutter, the four-seamer. Most of his outs were on fastballs in that start. He actually did not only allow one base runner, a ninth-inning walk with 2 outs after the second inning. That's what you call making adjustments and making sure that you're on top of your game.
Well, Kyle Loesch is going to walk us through his thought process on the fastball a little bit later. How about the week of highlights? It's been a terrific homestand so far. And when we continue, Craig and Augie will break it down from Miller Park. Stay right there.
Brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Toyota, let's go places. Great day for afternoon baseball here at Miller Park. It's been a great homestand, a 5-1 homestand so far for Milwaukee. Great highlights, great scenes. Can they keep it going?
Well, you know, and it all starts with playing good, complete baseball. And when you play complete baseball, you have special moments. And I'll tell you, talk about special moments. It's a great catch by Gomez on the defensive side. It's the walk-offs by Schaefer and Halton. You add to that some quality starts. It all leads to success. And that's what the Brewers have had on this homestand.
Yeah, 7-2 record against the Cubs this season here at Miller Park. They've won 22 of the last 27 ball games against their rivals on the I-94 series. Great to see the walk-offs and the dancing. That was fun last night, wasn't it? All right, Kyle Loach on the hill. We'll have the lineups being rock set to take you the rest of the way. Enjoy it here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
And the Chicago Cubs last matchup against the I-94 rivals. Swayman, his second season as the Cubs skipper, trying to avoid another 100-loss season. The Piggly Wiggly batting order for the Cubs today: Starlin Castro, Luis Valbuena, and Anthony Rizzo. Middle of the order is Sherholt, Sweeney, and Castillo, with Junior Lake, Logan Watkins, and Jake Arrieta rounding it out. That's the lineup that will face Kyle Loach. Here's how the Brewers line up defensively behind Loach. It is brought to you by Menards, with Schaefer, Gomez, and Aoki in the outfield. Ramirez, Bianchi, Jeanette, and Francisco around the horn, and Martin Maldonado doing the catching today. And Rock talked about Kyle Loach and the command of all of his pitches, especially his fastball. Recently, courtesy of Fantasy Cam, Kyle Loach walked us through the mechanics of his fastball on Phantom Cam.
You know, one of the main things about throwing the fastball is you have to get on top of it if you want to be driving it down through the zone. For the hitter's perspective, it's still behind my head. They really haven't seen the ball yet. It gives them less time to time you up. You know, depending on which pitch you're throwing, they still don't know yet.
And Rock, Kyle Loach, the fastball that sinks, the fastball that cuts. It has been a very effective pitch for him, and probably a career saver, which he picked up in his time in St. Louis.
Yeah, because a lot of times when offenses get ready for Kyle Loach, they prepare for the curveball, they prepare for the changeup, and very similar to what the adjustments that Marco Estrada has made recently. More fastballs and off speed, and Kyle Loach certainly, when he picked up that two-seam fastball, get the sinker. He talked about getting on top of it. You can see the fingers right on top of the baseball. When he does that on that downward plane, he gets good downward movement, and that's how he gets his ground ball out.
You know, it's so interesting about that image from Phantom Cam that Loesch had not seen that element of his game before in that slow motion. He actually said he learned something by watching that slow motion replay at 5,000 frames per second, that he's always fighting getting on top of the ball, and you really don't get on top of the ball, at least where he thought he was, behind the head. And he said he learned something that day, and it kind of changed his outlook for the rest of the season. And we will have Phantom Cam back beginning tomorrow. First pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike, and away we go as Loesch gets ahead of Starlin Castro. That's Chad Fairchild calling the balls and strikes. Paul Schreiber, Jeff Kellogg, and Toby Basner on the bases. Now the Brewers trying to put together their second longest winning streak of the season. They've won 4 in a row. They got a chance to make it 5 in a row with a victory today. Longest winning streak came way back in April when they won 9 straight. Renicky likes the way his team is playing right now and getting contributions from so many young players who are coming up from the minor leagues and contributing in a big way.
Yeah, position players and pitchers for that matter. Guys doing a good job. Tyler Thornburg, another very good start last night. He's been impressive.
0-2 to Starlin Castro is upstairs. Castro comes in batting .242. It's been a down season for him on both sides. Struggled defensively. He's had a down year offensively. And they will ask if he went. No, he didn't.
Yeah, they've been moving Starlin Castro all around that batting order, up and down the batting order. He's been leading off lately, but it's been a frustrating season for everybody, and that has a different effect on a young player. You kind of get caught into a lot of the things that have been negative for the Cubs. But still one of the better hitters in the game when he's got it going.
He signed a long-term deal with Chicago prior to last season. It was an 8-year contract, and the Cubs are certainly hoping he can be the face of their franchise moving forward. He and Anthony Rizzo are the two guys they are counting on and they are investing in. He's one of the more dynamic athletes at the position that there is in the big leagues. Just been one of those years for him as he cues one over to Scooter Gennett, and that's how the day begins for Kyle Loesch. Jeff Bianchi is at shortstop today for Gene Segura, and with an update on the injury to Segura, we check in with Sophia.
Well, Gene Segura left last night's game after the first inning scoring, strained his right hamstring. Now he is officially listed as day-to-day, and he has the usual soreness you would expect today. Ron Renicky saying he would not expect him available tomorrow, but he said with these mild strains, you just don't know how quickly the body can respond. They can heal quicker than you might think, and he noted, he's leading the National League in stolen bases. He's chasing a .300 batting average, and he said we will not put him out there just to secure those numbers. He said we will only put him out there if he's truly good to go.
And a good point, protecting the player from himself, because those are a couple of numbers that he's keeping an eye on. As Valbuena sends one to right foul.
Yeah, you don't want to really throw him out there and with the risk of really pulling that thing pretty good. And here's the play we're talking about. Segura rounding third base, and about halfway through pulls up, and right as he gets past home plate, grabs the back of that leg, the hamstring, and now if you tear that thing, there's no guarantee that thing will be 100% next year. Hamstrings, groins, very tricky injuries, so the Brewers have to be very careful with that.
A grade 1 strain of the hamstring is being called, and hopefully Segura can be back soon. There's a fly ball to right. That's got a chance to go, and it is gone. Luis Valbuena puts the Cubs on the board with a solo home run, his 12th of the year, and it is Chicago who takes the early lead. That snaps an 0-for-14 stretch at the plate for Valbuena.
There haven't been many leads for the Cubs in this series. They had a 3-1 lead a couple of nights ago. They're not able to hold it, but Valbuena picking on an off-speed pitch from Kyle Loesch. Looked like a slider that stayed up in the strike zone. Valbuena had pretty good power, able to knock that one out of here down the line and right.
Well, here is Anthony Rizzo with the Cubs on the board. Rizzo, the Cubs' leading home run hitter with 22. Driven in 75. He's their best RBI man as well. Cubs traded away Alfonso Soriano. And that meant that Rizzo steps into that primary run producer role.
Had a rough night last night. 3 strikeouts, every one of them coming on breaking pitches. Had a difficult time waiting back on the breaking ball. And Kyle Lohse was watching that last night.
Rides the fastball high and a swing and a foul back. Pitchers love to catch hitters in between, they say. In between, a little ahead of the breaking ball, a little behind the fastball. That's when you feel like you can have some success if you execute your pitches. And there's a breaking ball and a swing and a miss. So Lohse up under the hands of Rizzo, just like last night, and learning his lesson.
Yep, a little bit of a wrinkle and taking a little bit off, and Rizzo way out in front. And over the top.
Just beautifully set up. The high fastball that got the foul. Rizzo was a little late, and then Lohse delivering that little wrinkle breaking ball under the hands.
And you heard Kyle talking, right before the ball game, talking about hiding the baseball behind his head. Very important when you're trying to, set up those breaking pitches. You have to make that pitch come out of your hand just like a fastball. Disrupt the timing. That's what pitching's all about.
Nate Scherholtz the batter. Lohse ahead of him. Scherholtz a 20 home run season this year. Signed with the Cubs primarily because they were the only big league club offering an everyday job. I know the Orioles were interested in Scherholtz as a 4th outfielder, platoon player. He wanted to show that he could play every day in the big leagues. He's been that guy, a 4th outfielder with the Giants his entire career. Traded from the Giants to the Phillies last season. And so as his free agency came about, he took a shot with the Cubs, and he has proven himself correct. He can be an everyday player in the major leagues.
And he's got the home run totals. He's done a nice job in that regard. 65 RBIs. Doesn't walk much. He's a free swinger. On base percentage only .306.
Two and two to Scherholtz. And a bouncing ball to Francisco. He'll go to the bag for the out, and the inning is over. But Luis Valbuena homers off Lohse, and the Cubs have the early lead today.
Fans, please direct your attention to the scoreboard.
This day's matchup with the Chicago Cubs and the Brewers in the 4th and final game of this series, looking for the sweep. Here is the batting order for Renicky, courtesy of Piggly Wiggly. Aoki back at the top of the order with Scooter Gennett and Carlos Gomez to follow. In the middle of the order for the Brewers, it is Aramis Ramirez, Logan Schaefer getting the start in left field with Jeff Bianchi at short, and then Francisco Maldonado and Loesch rounding it out.
And Jake Arrieta making start number 8 with the Chicago Cubs. He was traded from the Baltimore Orioles to Chicago. No decision his last time out. Gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And faced the Brewers back on September 7th. He took a loss. And here's the Menards Cubs defense for tonight. Lake, Sweeney, Shearholtz in the outfield. Bob Buena back in the starting lineup. Did not start in last night's game. Castro, Watkins, and Rizzo. And the fine young catcher, Wellington Castillo, back behind home plate today.
Castillo had the night off last night. Gianna Navarro got the call behind the plate. Set to go here as Arrieta deals strike 1. He has a great arm. Arrieta's been a bit of an enigma in the major leagues, now at 27 years of age. And the Orioles felt frustrated by his talent but lack of success in the big leagues. He's a guy that actually has the kind of stuff and the ability to maybe emerge as a number 2 starter in the major leagues, but he really hasn't pitched that well to be thought of in that way. There's no question about his arm, though. He has electric stuff. Certainly Rick Kranitz, the Brewers pitching coach, knows him well. They were together in Baltimore.
He sometimes has control issues, and 21 walks in 38 2/3 innings so far with Chicago this year. Had some home run problems against the Pirates. Actually gave up 3 consecutive home runs on 3 consecutive pitches against the Pirates back in Pittsburgh. That's hard to do.
And he's given up 6 home runs in 7 starts at the major league level for the Cubs this year. Nori able to check his swing. That'll even the count at 2-2.
It's interesting. Pedro Alvarez did an inside the park home run off of Arrieta. Very next pitch, Russell Martin went deep, and then the pitch after that, Garrett Jones took him deep. So that's something you don't see very often.
3 homers in a row is rare, but to do it on 3 pitches.
And for Pedro Alvarez to hit an inside the park home run.
Man, you've got like the rarest of all rare birds. Like the spotted owl.
Right.
Arrieta has a modified windup. Looks a lot like he's in the stretch, but he misses away. Didn't miss by much. It's like a pretty tight strike zone. Loesch and Arrieta have had some double takes on home plate umpire Chad Fairchild.
And for a guy that already has issues with throwing strikes, it's going to be tough for him if the strike zone is a bit small. Good eye by Aoki and a leadoff base runner for the Brewers.
Scooter Gennett elevated in the lineup today in the absence of Gene Segura. A couple of lefties at the top of the order. Renicky has 4 left-handed hitters in his lineup today. Gennett 1 for 9 in the series. Has swung the bat very well against right-handed pitching since he's been here. He's hitting .372 against right-handers. Overall, Gennett batting .324, 6 home runs, which is a bit of a surprise considering he has just 173 at-bats. And he has driven in 18 runs. Those are the splits. Righty against lefty. Struggled again last night against the left-hander. And that's going to be the big question moving forward, whether Gennett is going to be an everyday player in the big leagues, an impact type player. Can he hit lefties?
Numbers weren't too bad down in the minor leagues, but you don't have your premier lefties down in AAA. If you're a good left-handed pitcher, pretty good chance you're going to be in the major leagues. That's certainly something he's going to be working on in the offseason.
Well, Gennett's done a great job since he took over for Ricky Weeks. Weeks was out with the injury, the torn hamstring, severe tear of the hamstring that required surgery. And Gennett was given the job, and he has produced. It's going to make for a very interesting spring training next year, and it's a good problem to have, but there will be competition for that second base job. Weeks is in the final year of his contract next season. And a right-handed batter, of course, Jeanette, the young lefty.
It will be interesting offseason as well. How many of these young players are the Brewers going to be counting on? You know, going into 2014, that's the big question.
2 balls and a strike. Aoki at first. And a little tapper in front of the plate. Arrieta will make the play for the out. Works just like a bunt. And Aoki into scoring position with 1 away.
Arrieta can get it up there at about 95 miles an hour. He's got a good curveball, throw a slider and a changeup. Mixes his pitches pretty well, and before his last start was able to keep the ball in the ballpark pretty well. Got some movement to his fastball too. You know, cuts on the glove side and he'll sink it.
So here is Carlos Gomez. Belted his 20th home run of the season on Tuesday. And one of those rare players in the major leagues with big number for homers and stolen bases. As a matter of fact, as a fan makes a nice catch up there. Carlos Gomez is the only player in the major leagues with a 20 homer season and a 35 stolen base season. Good catch.
Nothing to it.
Gomez tied up, and they say he went. So the count to no balls and 2 strikes. How about this run for Gomez on this homestand? 9 hits in 6 games. He's driven in 10 runs. And a couple of home runs. Into right field. Sherholtz is there. Aoki's going to tag. He'll stop. And Sherholtz with a good arm gets it into the cutoff man to keep him right there. So 2 gone.
Arrieta trying to establish curveball, hung that one, and Gomez hit it pretty hard, but right at Sherholtz. Hanging curveballs have a tendency to go a good ways. Watch how deep Gomez hits his baseball, exactly where you want it. You saw it down in the trademark just a little bit. Didn't hit it on the sweet spot. That's why it stayed in the ballpark.
So 2 outs for Aramis Ramirez. Comes with a run on the board in the top of the first. A home run by Valbuena. And Ramirez trying to answer for the Brewers with 2 outs. In the air to right. Routine for Sherholtz. And Jake Arrieta is through the first. A scoreless beginning for him. On our way to the second at Miller Park. Cubs are coming up.
And today's time of the game winner, Leprechaun Lounge in Milwaukee. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game April or May of next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Yeah, running out of home games for this season. After this ball game with the Cubs today, the Cardinals are coming in tomorrow. And a 3-game series with St. Louis to wrap up the home schedule. Brewers will finish the season on the road through Atlanta and New York. Kyle Loesch, his last start came here at Miller Park. Did not pitch on the last road trip. Brewers are in a 6-man rotation. And Loesch coming off one of his better outings of the season. He went the distance. Complete game against the Reds. Just 1 earned run allowed. He struck out 5 against Cincinnati back on the 13th of September. 6 days between starts. There's a strike to Sweeney to make it 2-2.
Yeah, Kyle got off to a rough start in that game and had base runners on the first couple of innings, but then retired 23 straight before issuing a walk in the 9th inning. One of his best outings as a Brewer.
Loesch is putting together a good finish to the year. Ran into a bump in the road against the Cubs back on September 6th, which beat up his ERA a little bit. Gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings against the Cubs at Wrigley. So he's got a little payback in mind, you would think, against the Chicago Cubs. It's never been a club he's had success against, interestingly enough. Making his 20th career start against the Cubs today, and an ERA over 5 lifetime. This year against the Cubs, Loesch is 1-1 with an ERA exactly at 5.
And that's because of that 7-run outing. It's always one team that pitchers seem to struggle against. No rhyme or reason for it. Different players, different years.
Well, we got to go a little deeper inside the numbers against the Cubs this season. Loesch back in late June picked up a victory against the Cubs, went 7 innings and 3 earned runs. And then he faced them again a month later in late July. He went 6 shutout against Chicago, a game he did not win. But a very good matchup for him that day as he walks Ryan Sweeney to start the 2nd inning. Got some other day games we're keeping an eye on today. The Pirates now 2 back of the Cardinals with 10 to play after losing last night. They are leading the Padres 6-1. That game's going into the 6th inning. Pittsburgh desperately needing a win today. They've lost 3 in a row to San Diego. Cardinals will be in action a little bit later. They're in Colorado. And Michael Wacha against Roy Oswalt. Yes, Roy Oswalt still pitches in the big leagues.
Yep, he's back.
He's 0-6 as a Rocky this year. Castillo in the air to center field. Gomez will settle under it. And there is the first out of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Cubs are going to have something to say about the division as the Brewers host St. Louis over the weekend. Cubs go back home. They face Atlanta and then Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh comes to Wrigley Field. And Dale Swin would love to be able to do some damage as this season winds down. It's been another tough season for the Cubs.
Now the Cubs right now with 83 losses. Have 11 games left. I beg your pardon, 89 losses with 11 to play. Brewers with 83 losses. There's a liner into right, and that's going to fall for a base hit. So Junior Lake swinging early in the count. Singles to right, and Loesch in a bit of trouble here with 2 on and just 1 out.
Yeah, Junior Lake likes that fastball. You can't throw it hard enough. You get it up in the strike zone, he has a tough time with it, but he is a free swinger and able to get one that he likes and dumps it into right field. Not a bad pitch, a little bit of cut to that fastball, but Lake stayed on it and took it to right.
Two men on for Logan Watkins. Speedy second baseman getting the start today for Darwin Barney. We've seen Watkins coming off the bench as a pinch hitter in this series. He's also been a pinch runner. Only 25 at-bats in the big leagues in 22 games this season, getting his first taste of the major leagues. Tough guy to double up. He's got to hit one right at an infielder. He runs very well.
That looked like a pretty good pitch. Chad Fairchild very stingy on those corners for both Arrieta and Lowe so far today.
And a count at 3-0 now on Watkins. Got the pitcher Arrieta due up next. There's a way out of this inning for Loesch. If you can retire Watkins and come back to get him, deal with the pitcher next. Try to avoid some damage here in this second inning. Bouncing ball through for a base hit. Sweeney is going to be held around third. And a good throw in from Aoki. So Watkins singles on a 3-1 pitch, and the Cubs have the bases loaded with the pitcher coming up.
And Kyle trying to figure out how to get strikes on those corners early on here today. And 3-1 pitch. You knew that Watkins was going to be sitting fastball. Got it. Brewers fortunate that a run did not score.
Well, Loesch giving up a run in the first on the home run by Valbuena. Now the base is loaded with Arrieta coming up, who is 2 for 12 at the plate. Spent most of his year either with the Orioles in the American League or in the minor leagues with the Cubs. And he takes a strike from Loesch. Well, you know, Loesch would love to get the ground ball here. And strike two.
That's a pitch to get the ground ball right there. And fastball away. Get a hitter to roll over on it, try and pull it, get out of this mess.
No balls, 2 strikes on Arrieta. Got him. Loesch struck him out. So out number 2, and the second strikeout for Kyle Loesch.
Kind of reminds you of the start for Loesch against Cincinnati. First 2 innings he struggled a bit, but then dialed it in. Gave up a single run in the second against Cincinnati and then retired 23 straight. That cut fastball right on the outside corner.
Pretty impressive to retire 23 in a row against any major league lineup, but especially the heavy hitting Cincinnati Reds. So 2 gone and a strike on Starlin Castro on the corner. Loesch, so important for him, especially to get the corners and to be able to have confidence getting strikes on the corners. And Loesch lives out there, doesn't have the overpowering fastball. Try to get the hitters into swing mode. That changes everything for Kyle Loesch. 1-1, and Castro fouls it away. He was a little bit late on that fastball.
Yeah, tough to do that. Get hitters into swing mode these days with the way the strike zone is, and particularly today's strike zone. If you're not going to be getting that pitch just off the corner, you're forced to throw it a little bit more on the plate than you would like. And that's always dangerous against a guy like this, Starlin Castro.
A big pitch early for Loesch. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And Castro hangs in there. One of the things that made Starlin Castro so dangerous over the last few years, not so much this season, but especially 2 years ago when he led the league in hits, is his ability to cover so much of the plate. He was able to hit the ball hard no matter where it was pitched. He's, I guess, a good bad ball hitter, probably the best way to put it, but he was always in swing mode. And you couldn't get outside enough for him.
Almost impossible to walk him, and still led the league in hits.
Another 1-2 offering, and a breaking ball bounced out to Jeanette, and Loesch is going to get through this inning. That could be a big one for Kyle Loesch. Retires Castro, and the Cubs leave him loaded.
Park this weekend as your Milwaukee Brewers host the St. Louis Cardinals. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com. And the Brewers giving plenty of reasons for fans to come out over this final weekend series. Tomorrow, it's that grill set to the first 20,000 fans. Rock already got his, so you can come collect yours. Saturday, it's Fan Appreciation Night, and Sunday, if you come on out, all fans will receive a scratch-off card revealing all kinds of prizes. So plenty of reasons. Just 3 games left here at Miller Park, guys.
Yeah, looking forward to a big weekend here at Miller Park and the last go-round for the 2013 season. Always kind of sad when it comes to an end here at Miller Park. Logan Schaefer leads off for the Crew as we play in the bottom of the second. Good job, Kyle Loesch, getting out of a bases-loaded mess.
Yeah, ended up getting Starlin Castro on a pretty good curveball. And mixed it up. Castro, a very good fastball hitter, as we were just discussing. Doesn't even have to be a strike, but Loesch able to get him out in front. And kind of an easy out to second base.
You never know when the big moments of a game occur, and that certainly was one of them early for Kyle Loesch. And if you need an example on the other side, just go back to yesterday's game. First inning, it looked like Russin was close to getting out of a jam. He had given up a run, but came up with the bases loaded. Sean Halton, and with 2 strikes, Halton hit one out for a grand slam, and that was it. Signed, sealed, delivered in the first. Brewers would shut out the Cubs yesterday 7-0.
Hey, that third out, the toughest of every inning. A lot of things happen with 2 outs. Well, you figure it would. I mean, you know, in the course of getting 2 outs, you're going to get base runners. Most of your runs are going to score with 2 outs. Halton coming up big last night.
His first career grand slam, and was rewarded for his big day yesterday with a seat on the bench today. Schaefer beats one into the ground out to Watkins for out number 1. You always say, Rock, it's a tough league. You've got to earn your stripes.
Well, Ron Renneke has said throughout the season it's all about matchups over at first base. What he likes right now is Francisco getting an opportunity with a guy that relies on the fastball, Arrieta.
Yeah, I was teasing Renneke about that. And Sean Halton not in the starting lineup. He goes, yeah, that means I have a very confident bench hitter today, a pinch hitter to come up. So that's a good way to look at it.
That just gets to bask in the glow of a good night last night for a little bit longer. That's the thing about baseball. You have a good night, you know, at the ballpark. You go home, get a good night's rest, and you're right back at it, and things can turn on you quickly.
Jeff, the Yankees shoots one foul.
And the same goes the other way.
Right.
Now you have a rough night at the ballpark, and next day you could be the guy to win the game.
That's the old chicken and the egg theory, you know. The idea that Sean Halton is a hot hitter, having success. Should he be in the lineup every day? I think Ron Renneke would say, well, I feel like he's having success because we're putting him in favorable matchups and trying to build his confidence as a young player. Little jam shot over to Rizzo. Arrieta is there for him, and 2 quick outs here in the second inning. Sean Halton hit a walk-off home run on Sunday against Cincinnati. Didn't start Monday. He came back last night, had a big night. But the Brewers still have a lot of questions to answer at first base. And Juan Francisco is part of that, and he gets the start today. Yeah, a little midday snooze. He'll be up and at him in no time.
Good sleeping weather this morning in Milwaukee. Yeah, some thunderstorms, some rain. Those are tough mornings to get out of bed.
Are you speaking from personal experience?
I am.
Check the Powerball home run leaderboard. Gomez sitting at the top with 20 homers this season and 36 steals. And Juan Francisco has hit 18 this season, a year that started with Atlanta. Juan Francisco's power bat is what is keeping him in the discussion. 333 at-bats this season. He's hit 18 homers. And a big swing and a miss. Normally you go through a season, you get a little over 500 at-bats. If you're an everyday player, you get over 600 at-bats. So the old question is, can Francisco, if he played a full season, would he be a guy that would hit 30 homers in the big leagues? Again, it goes back to the matchups. It's been an Abbott and Costello year for the Brewers at first base.
Who's on first, right?
Show up to the ballpark.
I was wondering where you're going with that until I thought about it a bit. Who's on first? 7 of them, right?
That's right. Starters. Yeah, you've had all kind of different players over there. Remember Blake Lally? Got to start at first base. Lucroy, Maldonado, Francisco, Sean Halton, Uni Betancourt. Did I leave anybody out? Sure I did. Alex Gonzalez. There you go. There's the 7.
I knew you'd get it.
There's a swing and a miss, and Francisco is down on strikes. Arrieta with a 1-2-3 inning.
Presented by Chevrolet on Saturday against the Cardinals. Enjoy special giveaways and prizes, including a 2014 Chevy Cruze LS. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for details.
Pretty cool. You show up to the ballpark, you could be driving home in a new car. Love that. Great fans in Milwaukee this year. We have appreciated it beyond description and enjoyed it very much, coming to the ballpark and having this kind of energy in a stadium, especially in a season that has been a struggle this year for the most part. But since the All-Star break, and with a lot of these new players coming up, it's been kind of fun to show up and see who's going to be where and who's going to do what. Been a new hero, it seems like, every night.
They've energized the ball club. They've energized, I think they've energized the fan base for that matter. Been a lot of fun to watch these guys and watch them develop right before your eyes at the big league level. Great fans here in Milwaukee, all around Wisconsin.
Balbuena, who homered his last time up, sends one foul and out of play. Now Brewers are going to end up drawing around 2.5 million this year. 2.5 million fans, and it's a remarkable number. Hopefully the Brew Crew can put some pieces together this offseason, start to get a little more clarity about who's going to be where next season and make a run at it next year. Ryan Braun will be back. Been some discussion about perhaps moving him around in the outfield a little bit with the emergence of Chris Davis. Corey Hart was here earlier today, and he was here yesterday, and he talked about his hopes to return to Milwaukee. He'll be a free agent at season's end. Balbuena pops it up. Ramos Ramirez makes the play for the out, and Loesch with his first out of the third inning.
It is such a fine line in baseball these days between the haves and the have-nots. The teams that are going to the postseason, and for the most part, you know, barring a couple of organizations, those that are not. But it all comes down to pitching, and that's been one of the most encouraging things about the latter part of the season this year from Milwaukee. These 6 starters that have been taken to baseball. Young pitching that has been very good for a good stretch of time.
Anthony Rizzo with one away takes a strike from Loesch.
That's really the only difference between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers right now, is that starting pitching and the way they have developed those young kids. And the Brewers, for the most part, have been happy with their offense, the way that has performed. Pitching has been inconsistent, bullpen and rotation. But you iron that out and you have a good chance.
Well, it's nice to build a rotation knowing you've got Gallardo and Loesch in place. Loesch has had a great impact with some of these young hurlers coming up from the minor leagues. Tyler Thornburg, we saw last night, he got the win, and he is quick with his praise of Kyle Loesch and how he has helped him develop as a major league pitcher, how he thinks about approaching a major league lineup. That is great to hear.
The Brewers certainly need to shore up the defense this year, going into next season. Defense and pitching, that's what gets you to the postseason for the most part.
Rizzo fouls it away. Loesch has been able to get in on his hands a couple of times. Struck him out on a breaking ball back in the first inning.
I hate to say it right now when the Cubs are still here, but the Brewers have handled Rizzo very well. He got a base hit his first time up, first game of the series, and they've been able to keep him off the bases since.
One-two pitch. Rizzo doesn't chase. See what Loesch has in mind for him here. 2-2. And to the opposite field, a base hit.
I knew that was coming as soon as I opened my mouth about Rizzo not getting hits. I knew I shouldn't have said it. Taking an off-speed pitch and lining it into left field. That's on me, Kyle. Not a bad pitch either. Fastball away, it was down, and Rizzo able to just serve it out there, out of the reach of Ramirez and into left field.
So a base runner with one away. And some runners on against Loesch so far. Stranded to bases loaded last inning. Cubs have put 5 men on base through the first 2 1/3. And already their 4th hit as Scherholtz takes a strike. Cubs are headed home after this game today. The Brewers will welcome in the St. Louis Cardinals, who are playing in Colorado today. Cardinals, Braves, and Mets. Last 3 teams for the Brewers to play, and those last 2 are road games, 2 road series, 4-game series with the Mets in New York. Cardinals and the Rockies will be underway shortly. Final game of that series. St. Louis has won 2 out of 3 there so far, and they've opened up a 2-game lead over the Pirates. National League wildcard race is going to be a good one, as those 3 teams, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Reds, all duking it out for a division title, and all 3 have a shot at a division title. It is by far the most competitive division in baseball, with 3 very good teams. I think you could look at the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Pirates and say these are 3 teams that could legitimately win a World Series this season.
Yeah, because they all have pretty good pitching.
Pirates 2 back, Reds are 2.5 back. And the Pirates and the Reds make up the two wild card spots. So those two could play in a wild card setting with the winner advancing. And it's conceivable that the winner could play the Cardinals if St. Louis has the best record. And they're pushing the Braves in that category. In the air, right center. That is trouble. Sherholtz sends one deep, and it's gone. A two-run home run for Nate Sherholtz. And the Cubs have opened up a 3-0 lead. Loesch was not happy with the 2-1 pitch that was called a ball.
And he's a little bit upset. Martin Maldonado trying to calm him down, but that's kind of been the case at home plate. A 3-1 fastball, and Sherholtz gets a very good pitch to hit up in the strike zone down the middle. And I guess if you're not getting calls on the corners, that's what you have to do. You got to throw it down the middle of the plate. Arrieta is subject to the same thing.
Now the Cubs on the board with 3 runs early against Loesch on 2 home runs. And for Nate Sherholtz, his 21st homer of the year. Sherholtz never hit more than 9 in a season. Did that with the Giants back in 2011, and now 21 bombs this year.
Playing every day and not having to hit in AT&T Park
makes a difference.
Both of those things help you.
Count evens at 2-2 on Sweeney. Loesch having a tough time with that put away pitch. Sweeney walked in the second. Got a very good eye at the plate. Patient hitter.
And goes to left field very well.
Pulls that one over to Jeanette. And there is out number 2. Brewers will have 2 day games remaining. Next Saturday in New York will be a 4 o'clock start, 3 o'clock here in Milwaukee, and then a day game on Sunday to finish the year. Final day of the year, the 29th, all across baseball. Then you'll jump into the postseason. Could be some tiebreakers this year. The wild card games will be on the 1st and the 2nd. The National League wild card playoff game will be October 1st. American League wild card game October 2nd. And then the division series begin on the 3rd.
Yeah, really 4 teams vying for that wild card in the American League. Tampa, Texas, Cleveland, Baltimore. A bunch of teams involved. Kansas City and the Yankees both 2.5 games back. Anything can happen.
Well, Kansas City had a nice win yesterday. The 2 teams that occupy the wild card spots right now, the Rays and the Rangers, they play tonight. Texas has Yu Darvish on the mound. Matt Moore for Tampa Bay, who is 15-3 this season with a 3.11 ERA. It's a great matchup today. Team to watch in the AL seems to be the Cleveland Indians, as Loesch strikes out Castillo to end the inning. But 2 more on the board as Loesch gives up a 2-run homer to Sherholtz, and it's 3-0.
Yesterday, it was a big day of meetings for the Brewers front office and Brewers coaches, spending most of the day talking about what the picture will look like for next season, and first base was a significant part of that discussion. So on our AT&T Twitter poll today, we're asking fans to weigh in. Who do you think will be the Brewers first baseman in 2014? Corey Hart, he's a free agent. Could he come back? Juan Francisco, who has put up power numbers at the plate, some intrigue there. Sean Halton, who has made an impression with his last week, a walk-off home run, a grand slam yesterday, or others. Will they explore free agent possibilities? Corey Hart was in the clubhouse today. He was very vocal about the fact that he wants to return to the Brewers. He thinks they could benefit from his veteran leadership. He's willing to come back at a discount price. Now, in terms of his rehab from those 2 knee surgeries, he said he has a big appointment on Monday where he's hoping he'll get the green light to start running, but he said it's good. There's no pressure to come back right now. He'll have the full off season to come back. So we'll see how Corey Hart will play into that picture for next season, BA.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And that could be a big story for the Brewers. You know, Corey's one of the more popular guys in that clubhouse, a guy who knows this organization, has only been with this organization as a professional, came up through the minor league system and has been an all-star as a Brewer. He says his knees are in good shape. That is not going to be a factor next year in his opinion.
I think the big factor for the Brewers is going to be how much of a discount is he willing to take.
Right.
He's going to have to take a discount regardless of where he goes, but I got to believe the Brewers would love to have him back.
Arrieta ahead in the count on Martin Maldonado. And a little bouncer back to the mound. Arrieta makes the play. Little lob over to Rizzo. And he's retired 7 straight. Take a look at the Charter Cable high-speed pitch. Arrieta's hit 94. He's got a little more in there if he wants it. Kyle Loesch topping out at 91 thus far. Been a rough start for Loesch. He's given up 3 runs on 2 swings of the bat. Valbuena a solo homer in the first. Schuerholz a 2-run homer in the top of this inning. Quickly a ball and 2 strikes on Loesch, making his final Miller Park appearance of the year. Brewers are in this 6-man rotation. Loesch will pitch again against the Atlanta Braves next. And down he goes on strikes. Second K for Arrieta. 2 up and 2 down here in the 3rd. Rotation is set for the Cardinals series, by the way. Johnny Hellwig will start tomorrow against Shelby Miller. A couple of hard-throwing right-handers. Miller's having a terrific season. 14-9 with a 3.01 ERA. Saturday will be Gallardo against Lance Lynn, and then Peralta against Joe Kelly Sunday. And note that Sunday's game no longer a day game. It has been moved from a 1 o'clock start to a 7 p.m. start to accommodate national television.
Brewers are going to face the same 3 that they saw in St. Louis.
With Lance Lynn being the wild card in that group. Been a little shaky in the second half, but he's won 13 games this season.
11 before the All-Star break. So another second half swoon for Lynn. Did the same thing last year.
Adam Wainwright got the win yesterday, pitched well. Here's the Miller Lite What's on Tap. That's what it looks like for the weekend against the Redbirds. And the Brewers will try to disrupt St. Louis's run at a division title. Right now the Cardinals lead by 2 with 10 to play, including today. And while the Brewers will be facing the Cardinals, a showdown series in Pittsburgh between the Reds and the Pirates this weekend. And Cincinnati has lined up their best pitchers, as have the Pirates. Got Latos and Liriano tomorrow with the Reds and the Pirates. 0-2 to Aoki. And it's off the plate. Tried to hit the back door with a breaking ball.
Another pitch that Arrieta this time thought was a strike.
In the air to left. Lake had him on the line and has to go to his left to make that play. 1-2-3 inning. Headed to the fourth. Is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. Great to have you with us today from Miller Park. It has turned out to be a beautiful day for baseball. Sun is out, roof is open. Warm temperatures in the 70s. And the Brewers find themselves in an early hole. 3-0 Cubs as we play in the fourth. Loesch has given up 2 homers. Junior Lake leads off. He takes a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Lake with a single to right his first time up. Cubs had him loaded in the second inning. Loesch was able to get out of the inning without a run scoring. But the Cubs do have 3 on the board and 5 hits already. See if Kyle can find something on the mound and lock in here against the Chicago Cubs. Still plenty of baseball remaining. Cubs have high hopes for this player, Junior Lake, out of the Dominican Republic. He is a converted infielder. Moved him to the outfield once they signed Starlin Castro. Looked like they were settled in the infield.
A lot of raw tools. He's just very young and inexperienced. He's got to hone his skills a little bit, control his aggressiveness at the plate. He's got a quick bat. He can handle a fastball. And swings and pitches out of the strike zone, and the Cubs are going to give him a good look.
And did he go? They'll ask. No, he didn't. Boy, close. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good body language back there by Maldonado. If you're trying to sell a swing and a miss.
That could have gone either way. Nobody wants to call strikes today, partner.
Nope. Tight zone. Good day for the hitter today.
Yeah.
Sit back and wait for yours. There's a swing and a miss on the 7th pitch. Loesch strikes him out. All right, Rock, how about a text question today? You ready? I thought so. Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. And this is from Lindsay. How many different kinds of fastballs are thrown by Kyle Loesch? You are ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was reading the question, actually.
I'm sorry.
I don't rely on you reading the question to me.
I see. That can be dangerous at times. I don't blame you.
He basically throws, 3 different fastballs. Actually 4. He'll take a little bit off his fastball. Not quite a changeup, but kind of a BP fastball. Sink it, cut it, and he'll throw the 4-seamer.
Which is the straight ball.
Right. Straight as a string.
Which one is the one you like to call the dead fish?
That would be number 4. The kind of in between changeup and fastball. That was the one Pete Vukovich made famous. That's the first time I ever heard that term. He said, I have 6 or 7 different pitches, including the dead fish. And I kind of looked at what's a dead fish. So they're between a changeup and a fastball.
I like it.
Kind of the BP fastball. It's a better term than BP fastball.
Yeah.
BP fastball is kind of boring.
Right. Unless you're a fish.
You never want to hear that
term.
Yeah, right.
One and 2, the count. Bouncing ball, fair. Boy, they had him off the line. That's going to sneak inside the bag. Watkins is on with his 2nd hit. He is now 2 for 2. And that's kind of the way the day's going so far for Kyle Loesch.
Fastball up. Looked like might have been the dead fish head time, partner. Up in the strike zone, and look at that approach. A la Nori Aoki. Just kind of slapping it down the line, got on top of it, and a base hit.
Should have gone with a live fish.
He hit it like he threw it.
And Arrieta up there to bunt, gets one down, and Francisco will put the tag on him. Sacrifice bunt for the Cubs pitcher. Advancing a runner to second. Are there any other interesting names for pitches that you could share with us on the air? I know there are probably some you can't say on TV. But
right. I know. But, the curveball, there's a lot of different terms for the curveball.
Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie, yeah. The hook, those types of things. And, back in the old days, they didn't, the terms were a lot different. In shoot, out shoot.
Oh, yeah.
Change of pace.
Up shoot.
Right.
The gyro ball. That's more of a Japanese term for a slider. A sidearm slider.
Right.
The fadeaway for a sinker or a changeup, I guess. Or maybe that was a screwball. You don't see many screwballs anymore.
The outshoot was a slider. The inshoot was a sinker. Those types of things. And not sure when that all changed.
So had we done a scouting report with Christy Mathewson, say, back in the day, and he'd say, well, I like to throw the fadeaway and the rise ball and the upshoot and the outshoot.
Right, right. And the straight one at about 100.
Christy Mathewson.
Right. Great names.
Hall of Famer. The Big Six, they called him.
Yeah, the first class of Hall of Famers.
Yep. Google him. He and Walter Johnson. If you love old time baseball. We used to have a board game that we'd play old time baseball with all those guys. That's how I got to know them so well. I was fascinated about their stories. And it was a board game, roll the dice. Remember, Babe Ruth was a 34. Most common roll of the dice was his home run. The 34.
That's the most common roll?
I guess so. 34. I think so.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I'm no dice man, but I think that was the idea. Bouncing ball up the middle. Bianchi gloves, throws, and it's in time to get Castro. Nice play. Jeff Bianchi in there for Gene Segura, and showing some range, gets Loesch out of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth. In our crew of the community today, Northwestern Mutual has partnered with the Brewers Community Foundation. Stolen Bases, Happy Faces program. And for every stolen base recorded by a Brewers player at Miller Park, Northwestern Mutual will donate $1,000 to the BCF in support of Ronald McDonald House in eastern Wisconsin. And thanks to Northwestern Mutual for their continued support. This year's donation will be more than $72,000. Brewers running wild this year, leading the National League in steals and able to cash in to help out the Ronald McDonald House. Scooter Gennett will lead off. Brewers without a hit through the first 3 innings. Arrieta has issued 1 walk. That was to Aoki to start his day, and has retired 10 in a row since, including a couple of strikeouts.
Arrieta's been pretty good at mixing in his breaking pitch. His curveball's been a pretty good pitch for him. He hung some early in the game and got away with them. It certainly relies on his fastball. It's got some good movement to it today.
Gennett lines one foul. Arrieta, you could tell as he goes through his progressions, he's very slow in his delivery. You can tell it's a calculated process for him on the mound. Pitchers like to say, I want to pitch pretty. And he's very slow up there. I have noticed though, Rock, I don't know if you've seen this, but the last few innings he's trying to get his arm loose. He continues to wind it up like we just saw, as if it is feeling a little tight. You don't see pitchers do that very often.
And not ones that want to stay in the ball game.
After every pitch, he's got a little something going.
Yeah. I never know. That might be just part of what he does. I don't remember him doing that back in Chicago. But he got Scooter Gennett to pound a curveball off of his foot. His curveball's been a good pitch for him.
Gennett in a hole 1 and 2, leading off this 4th inning. Brewers need some base runners. Down 3-0 early to the Cubs this afternoon at Miller Park. And in and out of the glove of Castillo. Gennett will see another pitch. Scooter was born in Cincinnati and was there until he was 10 years old, and then he moved to Florida. That's where the Brewers found him, Sarasota area. He told Milwaukee he was headed to Florida State to play college baseball. In the air, right center, well hit, but they had him in the gap, and well positioned Nate Sherholtz to make the play. Scooter jumped all over that pitch.
Yeah, curveball up in the zone, and Arrieta continues to have a tough time getting it down, but it's been good enough to keep the Brewer hitters off his fastball. Weighted back nicely. You see good extension, good follow through, but unfortunately for Jeanette, hit it right in the direction of Sherholtz out and right.
And here is Gomez now. It's 10 in a row retired by Arrieta. And Gomez to center field. Sweeney is there. 2 up and 2 down. A couple of hard hit balls by Jeanette and Gomez.
That's 3 line drive outs in a row, including the final out in the third by Aoki. The Brewers not hitting in very good luck. Got to hit them where they ain't. They used to say that a lot too.
Breaking out all the old ones today.
Kind of a nostalgic feel for today, doesn't it?
I feel that. I feel like that.
Yeah, you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do it. Ramirez takes a strike.
Even the beards the guys got going. That's kind of a throwback.
Makes you think back to the old company baseball teams when they'd play for a specific company in the barnstorming leagues.
Yeah.
Especially the Red Sox. Have you seen the beards the Red Sox are growing?
Big, thick,
yeah,
full beards. I mean, we're talking a lot of growth.
Much more than Arrieta is showing with his beard. 0-2. Ramirez hits one sharply through for a base hit.
And finally, a hard hit ball finds a hole.
So the first hit of the ball game for the Brewers.
Yeah, fastball down and in. Ramirez able to get the bat head out and hit it hard into left field. So skunk out of the box for the Brewers as far as the hit column goes in the 4th inning.
Good one.
That's another one. That's a fishing term.
Is it?
Yeah, the live well.
Take a skunk fishing?
No.
Oh,
just
skunk bait.
First fish in the box.
Speaking of dead fish,
comes out of the box, right?
Oh, I see.
When you don't catch any fish, they call you got skunked today.
Oh, I get it. You got like shut out. You got skunked.
Right.
So when you catch a fish, the skunk can leave the box.
Only the first fish.
Ah. Oh, that's great. I thought that was some kind of backwoods trapping
Nope.
terminology you're using. You're skunk hunting.
Loses its effectiveness when you have to explain it like that, though.
Schaefer flies out, and the inning is over. So through 4 innings, it's 3-0 Cubs. Shearholtz. Kyle Loesch does have 4 Ks. This one in our head and shoulders whiff as he strikes out Wellington Castillo. That was back in the 3rd inning. And that ended the inning. And Loesch trying to put up some zeros now. Give the Brewers a chance to come back. Arrieta has held Milwaukee to just 1 hit thus far through the first 4 innings.
There's been a lot of near miss called strike threes. Not much on the corners today for either pitcher, but you know, all of Loesch's strikeouts have been swinging strikes.
Brewers have won the first 3 games of this series. They've won 4 straight. They have lost only once on the homestand. That started against Cincinnati. Took 2 out of 3 from the Reds. And the first 3 here against the Cubs, and 3 more to come after this one against St. Louis. Brewers have won 7 of their last 10 games. Valbuena sends one out to Logan Schaefer. And 1 gone here in the Chicago 5th inning. If you could play with one player as a teammate all across the history of the game, since we're going nostalgic today, who would that be? Back from the old days.
Well, you got to give me some time to think about that one. That's not one that just you know,
it's
comes
not
off
an
the
easy
top
one
of
for
my
you.
head. No, there's a lot of guys that I
Babe
think
Ruth?
would be, you know, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron. You can ask Bob Uecker about Hank Aaron. He was a teammate of Hammer and Hank.
Rizzo singles on the first pitch, his 2nd hit, and might be starting to get hot here before he leaves Miller Park, thanks to Rock.
Ty Cobb would be a very interesting teammate.
Yeah.
A guy that you would probably hate to play against, but you'd love him on your team. Of course, I'm not sure about that, because the stories you hear about Ty Cobb, whether they're true or not, I don't know. I wasn't around.
Right. Kind of a mean guy,
Yeah,
right?
he was not, you know, the nicest guy in the world, which I guess you're not trying to be friends with everybody when you're playing ball. Of course, your teammates are different. I think it would be somebody back in that era, you know, back early on in the turn of the century.
Shearholtz on the first pitch. Out to Gomez for the 2nd out. I've always been fascinated by the names of the players that played through the teens and the 20s, especially that transition from the teens to the 20s. 1920, the live ball era in Major League Baseball.
I think it would be very, very interesting, and probably difficult as well to be on that that Brooklyn Dodgers team when Jackie Robinson broke in.
Yeah, that'd be the guy for me.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson, to be able to witness that, be a teammate.
That wasn't easy on anybody, you know, particularly Jackie Robinson for sure, but very, very difficult. It would be interesting to be a fly on the wall in that season.
Here's Ryan Sweeney. One of the great baseball movies of all time, Field of Dreams. I think that's the charm of Field of Dreams, that it gives you, it opens up your imagination that you could actually stand on the field with Joe Jackson or some of these other players, and that the character Moonlight Graham, and that's what is so cool about that movie, other than the story itself, which is a great story. But just the notion and the way the game was played back then, just the idea of the barnstorming situation, the fact that the players, for the most part, all had off-season jobs. The discrepancy in salary wasn't so great. You know, they rode the subways to the games, and probably more along the lines of the average income, even though it was still a great job, and it was still a professional athlete. Bouncer out to Bianchi. He'll glove it and step on the bag to end the inning. So Loesch with a couple of scoreless innings. Cubs still lead 3-0. We'll see if the Brewers can get their bats going a little bit. We head to the home 5th.
Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole as they bring you all the scores, news, and highlights you need. Catch Fox Sports Live nightly on Fox Sports 1. And there were some questions today for Ron Renneke about how the panels installed earlier this week have played out. And he said, it's not really sure. He said the top left one, which appears to be the darkest one, seems to be the most effective, but it's creating another problem in that it's reflecting the lights at night. So he said we don't want to, make a decision and then create another problem trying to avoid the shadows during the day games. So still time to evaluate how these panels have impacted play. Caleb Gindel agreed with Renneke's assessment, saying he thought that top left one appears to be the most effective.
The tenting on the panels, just trying to make the field safer for the players, and they still want to be able to allow the ambient light in. That's really important here. But they're testing a few tents up there just to see which one could be the most effective.
Trying to do something about the shadows, trying to do something about the sun peering in, during the summer. Not so much, I don't know how much of an effect it would have this time of year on a night game start. But it can be pretty rough on the left side of the infield and the left fielder, for night game when they start at 7 o'clock.
Bianchi strikes out as Arrieta picks up his third K. Now you're always, and that's one great thing about the Brewers front office. Rich Lessinger, the COO, he's always trying to improve the ballpark, both for the fan experience, the players' experience. And you look at how this ballpark has evolved since it opened in 2001. It hasn't been open that long, and it has taken on a much different look about it. It's brighter. It has a great feel to it. The field has changed. The infield dirt, the infield grass.
Yeah, the right field wall has changed. They brought it in.
And that's all part of a new stadium. And you don't call this a new stadium any longer. But of course, when you have a retractable roof and you have the ability to do some things in a ballpark, know you're going to play and not have to deal with some of the harsh weather conditions early in the season. And it's gorgeous. It's just one of the best in the big leagues, most functional ballparks in the big leagues.
Yeah, no question. Not a bad seat in the house.
And you can't underestimate the fact that as a fan, there's going to be a game. Today, when we arrived at the ballpark, it was pouring down rain. But you don't worry about it. Something you don't even think about here. And that affects not only how the fans can plan their trips to Miller Park, especially those who don't live in Milwaukee, but it also affects how the ball club handles their starting pitchers. You don't have to think about rain delays and rain outs, double headers.
Take BP on the field regardless of the weather. Well, that's an important thing as part of the big routine for players.
There's a strike called as Juan Francisco watch one go by. Back-to-back Ks. Don't forget to set your compass due north Thursday nights on Fox Sports Wisconsin. You can join host Bill Shirk and Laura Schera as they take a look at the stories and adventures of outdoor enthusiasts in the upper Midwest. Due north outdoors tonight at 10:30 p.m. only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And if you're watching the replay of this game tonight, that'll be in just moments after the game ends.
You're getting into some prime, outdoor activities in Wisconsin as you head into the fall. Great fishing, muskie fishing is going to be getting good pretty soon. Hunting season. Not a better place to be than the upper Midwest in the fall, month of October.
Maldonado right off the end of the bat for the second time. Arrieta takes care of him in a 1-2-3 inning. Brewers go in order in the fifth. 5 in the books. Cubs still lead 3-0. so far. He's working on a one-hitter through the first 5 innings. And Kyle Loesch is out. 5 innings, 3 earned runs allowed. It's going to be Burke Badenhop. It's interesting that Renicky would take Loesch out with his spot due up first, which would lead you to believe might be something a little more to it. Sophia's down there. We'll see if we can fight anything out. Or it could be just a straight managerial decision. But Badenhop will take over the 6th. And Loesch is out 5 innings with 7 hits and 3 earned runs, and right now on the hook for the loss.
Yeah, it is interesting that he would be pulled at this point. You mentioned that he's due to lead off the bottom of this inning, and in a normal scenario without the September call-ups, you probably wouldn't see this unless there was an injury, and Badenhop taking over here in the 6th inning. And Badenhop last pitched on Saturday, pitched the scoreless 9th inning.
Wellington Castillo, the Cubs catcher, will lead off for Chicago. He's 0 for 2 today. 2 swings of the bat producing all of the Cubs runs. Balbuena solo homer in the first. Scherholtz a 2-run home run in the third. Badenhop, a sinker ball specialist, ground ball pitcher. Getting a chance to start an inning. Typically, he's the guy that comes in trying to get out of a jam. Start an inning on his own here in the 6th. He's got the bottom of the order coming up with Castillo, Lake, and Watkins. A lot of moving parts with Burke Badenhop, not just on his pitches either. His pitches act just like his body language. In constant motion, stalking the mound from behind. Fidgety. I think it's all part of his persona. He's a pretty calm guy outside of his game activity. But on the mound, he is an interesting guy to watch.
Pretty smart guy.
Yeah, he is. He's fun to talk to.
Stump the Hopper.
That's our Brewers Live segment. I think we got one more.
That's a great one. That's
Saturday.
One of my favorites.
Stump the Hopper is a pregame piece where we offer visual images of logos and we put a clock on them. And Burke Badenhop tells us what minor league team or Japanese league team that is from. And he's amazing how he knows so many. Not only does he give you the name of the team and what level they're at, like low A or high A or double A, he'll tell you the league they're in. And then he always has like an interesting tidbit.
Right.
Some kind of personal
connection
nugget
to that.
Like, I gave up my first home run there in Lehigh Valley or whatever.
One of his teammates was talking about it a couple of days ago, something like that. But yeah, that's his thing. He knows the logos, and they change all the time. That's what makes it so interesting. I wonder if he knows some of the old-time minor league logos, like the Stockton Ports when I was there.
Yeah. Chattanooga Lookouts.
Yeah.
A foul ball out of play. 3-2.
The Vancouver Canadians. That was a really creative name, wasn't it? AAA for the Brewers.
What was the logo? The maple leaf?
It was a maple leaf. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's out there. Digging deep. I wonder if they hired an outside company to do that.
Probably charged them, $500,000 to come up with that name.
3-2, and a bouncing ball in the hole, backhanded by Bianchi. And a good strong throw for the out. Just a taste of Stump the Hopper from Burke Badenhop. Here's what it sounds like.
That is the Omaha Storm Chasers, which is the AAA for the Royals, I do believe. Formerly used to play at Rosenblatt Stadium, but they got a new one.
See what I mean?
It's a confusing logo, huh?
It's good stuff.
That would be the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Again, in Japan. Yeah. I think Willie Mo Peña plays for them.
It's a Willie Mo Peña reference. It's true. He's amazing. He's always got a nugget.
It is something.
Well, he's hoping his pitching career will last a long time, but he's got a great future in broadcasting if he chooses such a career path.
Took Wellington to Castillo an awfully long time to get back to that dugout. Did he hurt himself? He just kind of walked all the way from first base into the dugout. Finally able to continue here.
Cubs are taking a look at him in that dugout. Not sure. Junior Lake, a swing and a miss. I'm sure Bert Badenhop knows that Junior Lake was called up to the big leagues from the Iowa Cubs of the Pacific Coast League.
That in itself doesn't make sense, does it? Iowa Cubs in the PCL.
Now only 2 AAA leagues. It's been that way for a while. Used to be 3 as Lake dumps one into left field, a base hit. I used to have the International League, the American Association, and the Pacific Coast League, and they merged into 2 leagues. So you have teams like Nashville and Iowa in the Pacific Coast League.
Makes for some pretty long travel, doesn't it? That was in the PCL in 1992 and parts of 93.
That's where the Brewers AAA club is in Nashville. They're in the PCL.
I think the furthest east we went was Salt Lake City. That was about it. Hawaii had a team, the Hawaii Islanders.
Yeah.
Another creative name.
So Al Michaels was a broadcaster with the Hawaii Islanders.
We'd go over there for a full week.
Badenhop throws to first, and safe is the call, and now Lake on his way to third, and he's in there. So Logan Watkins using all that speed is aboard with his 3rd hit. And now the Cubs with runners at the corners.
It's got to be an error on somebody. Francisco dropped the baseball, and that allowed Lake to get to third base. This right here will be a base hit. That's a good play, but right there, Francisco drops the baseball and Lake proceeds to third, so somebody's going to get an error, you would think. He would not have gone to third had Francisco kept the ball in his glove. That's the 8th hit for the Cubs.
Infield hit for Watkins, his 3rd. And then an error on Badenhop that allows Lake to third base.
It's actually 9 hits.
3 runs, 9 hits. First error of the game. And now Badenhop with runners at the corners.
It wasn't that bad a throw, actually. I mean, that's one that, you would think Francisco would be able to keep in his glove. And keep Lake at second base.
Here's Arrieta now. And he drops a bunt down. Badenhop. Oh, he didn't see Lake coming. Had an out at the plate.
It wouldn't even have been close.
Badenhop does get the out at first, but a squeeze bunt. And Burke had no idea that Lake was coming home. It was right there.
And Lake, that was a safety squeeze right there. And all he has to do is throw it over to Maldonado. Not sure if he heard what Maldonado was saying to him. I would imagine Maldonado screaming home plate. And he would have been an easy out.
So that'll be a squeeze bunt RBI. Give Arrieta a sacrifice, and it's 4-0 Cubs. And back to the top of the order now, and Castro. 2 outs in the inning. And an inning that should not have been. Won't be an error charge, but certainly a mental mistake. Yeah, put yourself in the shoes of Badenhop, though. I'm sure he couldn't imagine that a runner from third would try to score on that play.
Now your first instinct should be, though, when you pick up that baseball, where is the guy at third base? You have plenty of time to get the out at first, especially with the pitcher running down the line.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Well, the Brewers are in a hole today, down 4. Milwaukee has played very well against the Cubs this season. They are 13-5 against Chicago this year. This is the last game of the season against the Cubs. Brewers have never swept the Cubs in a 4-game series at Miller Park. Got a chance to do that today. Going to take a comeback, though. Starlin Castro is 0 for 3. Kyle Loesch started out after 5, giving up 3 earned runs on 7 hits. Cubs have 2 hits in this inning. It's been an error. Two and two to Castro. Castro bounced out to second in the second inning, had the bases loaded. It was a big out at the time for Loesch. Still plenty of ball game to come back for Milwaukee. Certainly don't want to give up any more at this point. 2 and 2 to Castro. And it's in the air to right, playable for Aoki. So Badenhop gives up a run, a physical error and a mental error to allow the run to score. Brewers. They lead it 4-0 as we're on our way to the bottom of the 6th inning. And another famous racing sausages event. And a runaway train, the Italian with the flat nose. It's amazing that he can even see at this point of the season. His hat could use a little puffage.
It's been a long season. There's the answer to your question about Wellington Castillo. Obviously something happened to him. J.C. Boskin taking over behind home plate. That's why it took Castillo forever to get from first into that Cubs dugout. Maybe a leg injury, we'll see. But Arrieta has been very good so far today, locating his fastball well and has been breaking off some pretty good curveballs.
So 4-0. And it's going to be Caleb Gendel to pinch hit for Badenhop. Arrieta, just the one hit. That was a Ramirez single with 2 outs in the 4th. Michael Gonzalez is in the Brewers bullpen. Gendel off the bench, getting an at-bat here today. Had a 3-hit game earlier in this series. As a matter of fact, he was a double away from the cycle on Monday. Drove in 3 runs. Bouncer back to Arrieta. Been a lot of those. And the first out of the 6th inning.
Hey, tomorrow the first 20,000 fans 21 and older will get a Brewers grilling set. That's courtesy of Potawatomi Bingo Casino. To order tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com. And here is the said grilling set right here. Very handy. You see the nice wood handles.
I showed up today. This was in my seat.
Empty.
Yeah, it was empty.
You get the spatula, you get the tongs, and you get the brush. Understand you had your grill fixed yesterday.
Yep, had people for that.
Well done. What was the problem?
It's pretty technical, actually. It's some of the inner workings of the wiring, and yeah.
Actually, it was the propane gas needed to be replaced.
And I've heard that too. I've heard that too. But who can really know? Cousin Kerry took care of everything.
Nice.
Yeah, he fixed us up real nice.
As long as it's working, there you go.
Yeah, he had a lot of maintenance to do on it. You know, those things are very complicated.
I know. You got to keep it clean.
It's like a German automobile.
They get clogged up, you know. The heat element. You got to make sure there's good flow with the gas.
It's back in business. Which you'll be happy to know. I don't have to go borrow the neighbors again.
Have you ever cleaned your grill?
Oh. The top part. Clean the top part.
Yeah, the grates. But I'm talking about the
inner workings.
The important stuff.
I usually just go buy a new one.
It's good to be able to do that. It really is.
Because you don't want to hose it down. That's not really a good way. I learned my lesson on that one a few years back.
No.
That's not. And the leaf blower is not exactly a great option either. It keeps blowing out the light. Fly ball foul. Had a little trouble with the igniter.
The tubes that provide the gas and,
yes.
The flame.
Oh, of course. Everybody knows that.
You get a light scrub brush. You kind of scrub it up. Sometimes there's some food that get crusted on there that inhibits the flow of gas, and you don't get the fire.
All right. Well, that's going to be a good next step for me, I think.
How about Kerry? Maybe he could do it.
Oh, he'll do it. He'll do it. Get a list together.
That's a good project right at the end of the season for you.
The grill master, Bill Schroeder. I got to admit, he's one of the best ever. Even when the Clements guys come over and grill for us, they're a little intimidated by your presence.
I oversee the whole operation.
And whenever Bill grills for you as well, you always, not only do you get the expert grilling part of it, everything is perfectly cooked, but then you get the Bill Schroeder gravy. which is something you just can't get anywhere.
That falls on the grill. You're talking about the
right off the forehead of the nose, right onto your.
No, that doesn't happen.
It's called the Schroeder gravy.
I stay a good ways away from that. It's all part of it.
It is
the uniqueness of the flavor.
I was talking to Becca from Clements about, the way we did it in Texas as far as the sausages go. You do the sausage wraps.
Right.
Something that hasn't quite made it up to Wisconsin yet, despite my greatest efforts. But you wrap a Clements sausage in a tortilla.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like
kind of a low carb.
You get a gluten-free kind.
Right.
A G-free wrap.
I get it.
You can eat a lot more that way. Get a little chorizo and a tortilla. Delicious.
It is. That's my plan tonight.
Right back to the mound again. Nice play, Arrieta. He is cruising along here. He's got the kind of stuff to do it. He's working on a one-hit shutout through 6 innings. Is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly, and by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Beautiful Miller Park. Brewers are trailing 4-0. Not been so fun at the plate today for the Brewers against Jake Arrieta, who is on his A game, working on a one-hit shutout through the first 6 innings. Pitching coach Chris Bosio, the former Brewer, like what he has seen so far. And Rock, the Brewers will give the ball to Mike Gonzalez here after Badenhop works the 6th. Gonzalez will have the 7th.
Yeah, 73rd appearance for the lone Brewers left-hander down in that bullpen. Gonzalez has been a bit of a struggle as of late. Last pitch on Monday, the first game of this Cubs series. Pitched 2/3 of an inning. He's had a rough ride over his last 22 appearances.
Luis Valbuena leads off for the Cubs. Valbuena homered in the first inning off Loesch. Excellent defender at third base. And the Cubs are hoping he hits a little bit. He's got some pop. He had his 12th home run back in the first inning. 1 out of 3 today for Valbuena. In the air to center field. And playable for Gomez for out number 1. Mike Gonzalez could use a quick inning. Well, it's been a battle for him over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. He has really fallen on hard times. Been dealing with a bit of a a back injury, just some tightness in the back, regular maintenance that he requires to keep his back loose. And he's a guy that's pitched in a World Series. He's been a closer in the big leagues, and it is one of the more difficult periods of his career right now.
Get off to a rough start this year. The first month was not very good, but boy, put together a stretch of 3 very good months, but recently has come on rough times. He's got 4 consecutive left-handers to deal with, starting with Valbuena, who he's already been able to get.
Anthony Rizzo has hits in his last 2 plate appearances. He's 2 out of 3 today. A couple of singles and a strikeout. That one catches the edge. 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Gonzalez.
It's really been the breaking pitch for Gonzalez that has gotten him in trouble lately. Not able to get it down and away on lefties, down and in on the right-handed batter. The fastball's had good velocity, though. It's that secondary pitch, that pitch air, the slider. Difficult time putting it where he wants it.
Two and two to Rizzo, and that one's in the air to left. Pretty well hit. Schaefer going back with the glasses on, and he makes the catch for the out.
You see the way he went after that baseball. Didn't look back into the sun. Kind of angled his body to, kind of face the foul pole and left to be able to see the baseball better, so he's not looking into the sun.
So 2 up, 2 down for Gonzalez. Now to bring up Nate Scherholtz, yet another lefty with Sweeney to follow. Colorado Rockies have jumped out to an early lead on the Cardinals today, 4-0, top of the 4th inning. Rockies have a home run from Troy Tulowitzki, number 23 of the year for Tulowitzki, off Waka. The young talent, Michael Wacha's given up 10 hits in his first 3 innings.
Rockies can hit, boy, and particularly at home.
The Pirates beat the Padres today 10-1. That game's gone final. So Pittsburgh rooting for the Rockies right now, trying to get back within a game of St. Louis. Cincinnati is off tonight. Reds are back in action tomorrow in Pittsburgh, starting a key series against the Pirates. The Los Angeles Dodgers can clinch a division title. They're underway with the Diamondbacks. Ricky Nolasco pitching for the Dodgers today. Game's in the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score. Tigers and Mariners are final. Detroit winning 5-4. Trimming their magic number. I believe it's down to 6 as they beat the Mariners.
Did you ever think the Dodgers would clinch their division before the Braves?
How about that? Yeah, Braves magic number is still 2. So it's been an incredible turnaround for the Dodgers. Swing and a miss. Gonzalez strikes out Scherholtz to end the inning. Good inning, 1-2-3 for Michael Gonzalez. Still 4-0 Cubs.
It raises the question of will he return to the Brewers next year and play first base. The results of our AT&T Twitter poll, we were asking Brewers fans who do they think it will be. 55% want it to be Corey Hart. He's been vocal about the fact he wants to return. Certainly this has been a test for him, but he said with the time off and the rehab, he anticipates he could play for another 5 to 6 years. The question remains, will it be for the Brewers, BA?
Yeah, that is a big question. I know the Brewers will explore the Corey Hart option, and all parties are fans of the other. I know the players love having Corey Hart around, trying to work out the business side of it and to see what the financials are going to be to try to get him here and what kind of other options the Brewers may have. But Hart would be a welcome sight on the 2014 roster. Not only is Corey Hart a very good player and does a lot on the field, he's been a big power hitter, been an all-star, played first base extremely well as Gomez launches one deep center field. Ball's got some carry and it back at the wall, and it is up and gone. Carlos Gomez goes deep, dead central. What a homestand he's having, Gomez, with his 21st home run of the year, and it puts the Brewers on the board for the first time.
Well, Arrieta making a mistake with a fastball, and Gomez taking advantage of it. Here it is. Actually, curveball that he hung up in the strike zone. My mistake right there. It's good extension, doesn't try and pull it, then able to get it out of there into center field. Number 21 of the year, our Powerball home run count for Carlos Gomez, getting the Brewers on the board.
And so Gomez now with 10 hits on the homestand. 2 of those home runs, he has 11 runs batted in. 10 for 22 at the plate on this current homestand. His numbers starting to head back north. Now hitting .287 with those 21 homers and 68 runs batted in. Yeah, that's what the finish looked like. Only question was, it too high to go out?
And they come in bunches for Carlos Gomez. He's maybe in the beginning of a nice stretch. Hit some home runs.
There's Aramis Ramirez at the plate, presented by Wendy's.
One of the rare mistakes that Arrieta has made with his curveball that the Brewers have been able to jump on. And a good pitch for him today.
Well, we'll see if Ramirez can keep it going. He had the first Brewers hit back in the 4th. Brewers only have 2 of them. Ramos, the former Cub, 8+ seasons with the Cubs. There's a strike. 1-2 the count. Brewers having to play a good chunk of the schedule this year without their big 3 hitters, Braun and Ramirez and Corey Hart. Hart missed the entire season. Ramirez missed a little over 2 months with a knee injury that put him on the disabled list on 2 different occasions. And of course, Ryan Braun suspended at the end of July. So those are 3 big bats that I don't know any team that could survive missing your 3, 4, and 5 hitters for that many games. And it does give you a little hope that those 3 would return. And you're hoping they can be effective once again. Ramirez will be in the final year of his contract next season. Full count to Aramis. And a bouncer to Castro for the first out. Kyle Loesch started today. 100 pitches through the first 5 innings. And Renicky went ahead and pulled the plug. Badenhop gave up a run in the 6th. Michael Gonzalez a 1-2-3-7. Brewers are down 3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jake Arrieta has gone the distance so far, and he's been very good. 4 strikeouts in 6 1/3, just 1 run on 2 hits. Got some serious run on that fastball.
Man, run and sink today, both. Depending on which side of the plate he's working. And one of his better starts in the big leagues. There's the old equalizer right there. That's been his best pitch today.
Arrieta with the Orioles earlier this year made 5 starts, had an ERA over 7. Pitched in AAA with the Orioles in Norfolk. AAA with the Cubs after the trade, and this is his 8th start in the big leagues with the Cubs. There's a whole lot to like about Arrieta. Question is, can he put it all together consistently in the major leagues? Stuff is there.
Yeah, when he has a day like today where he's not walking batters, that's ordinarily when he's good. You know, coming in, 21 walks, 31 strikeouts, and 38 2/3 innings. He's only walked 1 today.
And Schaefer down on strikes. So number 5 for Arrieta as he retires Logan Schaefer for out number 2. As we check in with, I beg your pardon. Now let's check in with Sophia. Sophia?
Well, BA and our Marshfield Clinic shining stars of the future. Congratulations to the Helena Brewers. They were the only minor league team to reach the postseason. They were defeated by Idaho Falls 6-0 to drop 2-1 in the Pioneer League Championship. They were limited to 5 hits and allowed just 2 runs, but congratulations to them for a great season. It's a big deal just to make it that far.
Yeah, absolutely. As Bianchi goes over the head of Scherholz. And that'll be a ground rule double for Jeff Bianchi. Yeah, the Helena Club did a nice job. Oh, premature fireworks there. Just a ground rule double. Bernie almost went down the slide. Can understand.
Well, they saw it bounce over the wall. They saw it on the other side of the fence, so they figured it's a home run. Bianchi taking it to the opposite field. And 1 hop over the fence, and ordinarily does not prompt fireworks.
It's an honest mistake.
Okay.
Oh, here is Francisco now. And a bouncer to first. Rizzo will flip it to Arrieta, and that will retire the side. Brewers get on the board with a Carlos Gomez homer. An all-star season for Gomez. Got a chance to win a Gold Glove. And his bat has been outstanding all year. Number 21 of the season makes it 4-1 Cubs. innings. The Cubs lead at 4-1. Gomez responsible for the only Brewers tally so far today. And the other runs for the Cubs, at least 3 of the 4 coming on home run balls by Valbuena and Scherholz. So 4-1 Cubs. We are headed to the 8th.
And Carlos with 2 home runs in the series, had a run scoring double last night, so driving in some runs. It's been a while for Alfredo Figueroa. We were talking before today's game. It's been a while since he's appeared in the ball game. Last Saturday against Cincinnati, gave up a run in an inning of work. Got called back up on August 30th from AAA, and has had a tough time finding innings since his recall.
Up tomorrow, the Cardinals are in town, and Phantom Cam is back in Milwaukee, giving us some great images. And we've got some instructional pieces put together courtesy of our Phantom Cam. We'll get to hear from Ron Renicky and Rick Kranitz, and Logan Schaefer will be spotlighted in our Brewers Live pregame show tomorrow, talking about some of the mechanics of the swing and things you can really see, maybe unlike any other image, with Phantom Cam, 5,000 frames per second. So we're looking forward to having that back. Nice little toy for the next 2 days, Friday and Saturday. And don't forget, Sunday is a night game. Originally on the schedule as a 1 o'clock start, but that'll be a 7:05 first pitch Sunday to accommodate national television. Sweeney out to Francisco, and Figueroa is there for him for out number 1. Now the Brewers looking ahead to their bottom of the 8th inning. Be at the bottom of the order, 8, 9, and 1. Maldonado's scheduled to lead off, and then the pitcher spot, and then back to Aoki. Figueroa trying to keep it right there and give the Brewers a shot with 2 innings to play. Boscan will bat now. His first at bat, he came in for the injured Castillo last inning. Looked like Castillo injured himself after grounding out in the 6th. Hobbled his way to first and then hobbled his way back into the dugout. Quickly 0-2 on J.C. Boscan.
Yeah, good velocity for Figueroa, 95, 96 miles an hour. He made some good starts for the Brewers midway, about the middle part of the season. Remember that start he made against Miami.
Well, he's got a great arm, no question about that. He spent some time in Japan, was hoping to come back to the States and have a little more finish and polish on his breaking stuff, but that hasn't been the case consistently. But when you have a fastball in the upper 90s, organizations will tend to be a little more patient with you.
Yes, they will.
Many thought he had arrived after that start against the Marlins, thinking that would be a shot in the arm that the Brewers could count on, but it's not been the case. And most of it has to do with his off-speed stuff. Because if you're not throwing sliders for strikes or change-ups, and even if you throw 98 miles an hour, big league hitters are going to
doesn't matter.
Take care of it.
If they get the count in their favor, they're looking for him. It doesn't matter how hard you're throwing.
And a 3-2 count. And it's lined into left field, a base hit. J.C. Boscan with a single. A reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. A base runner with 1 away for Junior Lake.
And where that really shows up, not throwing breaking pitches for strikes, is your home run totals. And Figueroa has given up a lot of home runs, 15 home runs and just shy of 70 innings of work.
But when he's throwing that pitch for strikes, it's a game changer for him.
And you've got to be able to throw that pitch for strikes to the guy at the plate right now.
Another one. 0-2 the count. Figueroa with a man at first, trying to keep the Cubs at 4. The Cubs have 10 hits today. And another breaking ball. 3 in a row to get Junior Lake.
And Lake not even close. You talk about a big aggressive swing, and that's Junior Lake. Comes up empty, 3 consecutive breaking pitches. See that front shoulder commits, and he's not able to get on top of it. Now you pull that front shoulder and everything is uppercuts, and that's why he's underneath.
First strikeout for Figueroa. 2 outs now, and here is Logan Watkins, who had 3 hits in the big leagues coming into this game today. He was 3 for 25 and has 3 hits today. He's matched his season total with a 3-hit game this afternoon. All singles. He bunted for a hit his last time up. Into center field, pretty well hit, but Gomez spinning, whirling, makes the play to end it. And Figueroa, after a long layoff, comes back with a scoreless 8.
Lead the Brew Crew, though, 4-1. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. And Kyle Lohse just didn't have it against the Cubs, but they've kind of had his number in his career, haven't they?
Yeah, you know, there's some teams that you go out there, you just can't make those good pitches. You getting good can't get in good locations. You get in counts where you get behind in hitters, and it just seems like the Cubs have been that to Kyle Lohse.
All right, we'll break down that game, of course, after the ball game here from Ron Renneke as well. Plus, our instructional is coming up here on Brewers Live postgame. And, of course, we're going to go through the relationship and what a catcher and a pitcher talk about on the mound when they need to meet and straighten things out one way or the other. It's all coming up on Brewers Live postgame. Brian?
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Arrieta is done for the day. 7 strong innings today by the Cubs starter, and he'll turn it over to Pedro Strop out of the Chicago bullpen. Those two came over to the Cubs in the same trade for Scott Feldman, both coming from the Orioles.
Yeah, big arm for Strop. I mean, this is a guy that has the potential to be a closer. We saw him a couple of days ago. Pitched a scoreless inning with a strikeout. Good numbers for Strop.
Maldonado will lead off, then Sean Halton, and then the Brewers back to the top of their order. Needing base runners, down 3 and only 3 hits. I think the Brewers feeling fortunate to be down only 3 runs, the way the Cubs have swung the bat today.
Strop with 35 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings. I mean, that's a pretty good strikeout number. You can see why. He throws hard. He's got a good breaking pitch. Got a pretty good chance to open the season next year as the Cubs closer. He's got a shot.
And a swing and a miss as Maldonado goes down on strikes.
And because of that pitch right there, 95 up in the zone.
Well, Sean Halton, what a homestand he's having. Take you back to Sunday, and Halton against the Reds off Zach Duke. A walk-off home run, the first of his big league career. Gave the Brewers a win in that game and a series win against the contending Reds. And yesterday, Halton got the start at first base and hit a grand slam in the first inning. Homestand to remember for Sean Halton.
And he hit a changeup out of the ballpark. One-handed a changeup and knocked it out of here. So gives you a sense of how strong he is.
78 big league at bats. He has 4 homers, 15 driven in. And out in front of a breaking ball, and Strop is nasty right now, and he's throwing a lot of strikes. Has not thrown a ball yet. When Strop struggles, that is the problem. His command.
That's ordinarily the problem with every pitcher that throws hard. You're not going to, get a lot of base hits. You're not going to be able to string base hits together on guys like him. Not all that often, but ordinarily there's walks involved. Getting behind the count, having to come in with fastballs down the middle.
Saw Sean Halton today taking ground balls with tennis balls in the outfield with John Shelby, a terrific outfielder in his day with the Orioles and the Dodgers. Working on some drills with Halton, trying to soften up his hands a little bit. He is a first baseman by trade, but he's trying to make himself a utility man.
Ever try catching ground balls or with a tennis ball? It's tough with a glove. Pops out quite a bit. Got to soften those hands up. Give as the ball gets to you. That's a good drill.
That ball's hammered down the left field line, and it is going to get down and 1 hop out. Sean Halton with a double, a ground rule double, continues to hit, and there's a base runner the Brewers have been looking for.
That just continues to get more confidence every time he steps up to the plate. 3rd double of the year for Halton. And centered on that pitch nicely. Look at the extension that he gets. Hits it on the sweet spot. I mean, you can't look any better at the plate than Halton did on that swing. Perfectly level. Good balance. And 1 hops it over the left field wall.
Well, a chance to pick up a run here. Nori Aoki with 1 out, runner in scoring position. And Aoki chops one over to short. Castro goes to first in time. Halton advances. A little bit risky moving to third base. Cubs have Balbuena well off the bag in the line at third base. So 2 outs.
Aoki trying to shoot that hole over there, and that's why Halton takes off. I mean, nobody at third base. It would have been a foot race had Castro thrown it to Balbuena. Get a sense for where the fielders are, and that will allow you to make a decision whether to go to third base or not.
It's a big run for the Brewers to pick up. They're down 3, 8th inning, down to their final 4 outs, and here's Scooter Gennett. Well, you get a base hit here, you get a run in, and you bring Gomez to the plate as the tying run. Bouncing ball. Watkins slides, throws in time. Nice play by the Cubs rookie second baseman. And the inning is over. The Brewers come up empty. 4-1 Cubs. We head to the 9th. And Carlos Gomez getting himself turned around a little bit, but no problem. When you're as fast as Gomez, he makes everything look easy out there. And Gomez able to make the plays, hit a home run tonight. Didn't have a whole lot in the cover to choose from, so you get the angle there with a fast decision to.
I think sometimes he does that just to make it look interesting.
Right. Keep it up for grabs.
He's that smooth. Maybe give a hitter some hope that he might not catch it. It always ends up hauling it in.
You're welcome, young lady. All you have to do is Rock rings the bell and the roof opens. It's amazing. Donovan Hand will have the 9th.
And 27th appearance for Hand. He's made some starts this year for Milwaukee. Actually did a pretty good job in the starting role. 9 home runs he's allowed. And a .365 earned run average for Donovan. And Donovan actually made 7 starts.
Brian Bogusevic will bat for the Cubs. 9th inning, 4-1 Chicago. Brewers have won the first 3 in this series. Hoping for a rally in the 9th to make it a clean sweep, something they have never done against the Cubs in Brewers franchise history. Now the Cardinals have just tied it 4-4 in the 5th. Matt Holliday with an RBI single. All even at 4 as they play in the bottom of the 5th with the Rockies coming up. That's a big ball game in the National League pennant race. Pirates beat the Padres earlier today 10-1 behind Garrett Cole, who is now 9-7. He beat Ian Kennedy today. So the Reds are off. Pirates could pick up a game if the Rockies can pull that one out against St. Louis. Otherwise, the Cardinals will stay 2 games up if they win today with 9 to play. Cardinals looking for their first division title since '09, despite a World Series title in 2011. They entered that year as the wild card. They entered the postseason last year, the Cardinals, as the second wild card team. beat Atlanta, beat the Nationals in the LDS, and then lost to the Giants in the LCS. Deep to center. That's trouble. And that ball is way gone. Wow. Off the scoreboard, Brian Bogusevic gives the Cubs a 5-1 lead. You could just tell by the sound of that ball.
Yeah, that ball wasn't coming back. And it looked like it went off that Miller light sign out there in center field. That was a blast by Bogusevic. A no-doubter to center. And it sounded like it. Third home run of the day for the Cubs.
Boy, it's about as hard as you can hit a baseball. Four of the 5 runs on the long ball today. Solo shots by Bogusevic and Valbuena. 2-run homer by Scherholz. And a liner into center field, a base hit. Starlin Castro singles. Not a good start to the inning for Donovan Hand.
Yeah, that one looked like it was right down the middle of the plate, just out of the reach of Jeanette, who was shading Castro up the middle. Maldonado out to have a chat with Hand. Location has not been very good so far.
Here's Valbuena. Nobody out. A run is in, and a runner at first. Cardinals in town tomorrow. The Brewers will send Johnny Helwig to the mound against the heavy hitting Cardinals.
Well, you know the Brewers would like to take it to the Cardinals over the weekend.
St. Louis will have Shelby Miller.
Cardinals have had their way with the Brewers this year.
Yeah, it's been a rough season for the Brewers against St. Louis. Only beaten them 3 times all year. 2 of those have come in St. Louis. Just the opposite with the Cubs. Brewers are 13-5 this year against Chicago. And has Valbuena 0-2. Looking for a ground ball here to turn up a double play, and a bouncer right to Francisco. Goes to short for 1. The Yankees return in time. Well done.
And Francisco took his time on that throw to second base. That's the key to that. Balls hit so hard you don't have to be very quick. Just give Bianchi a good throw and they turn an easy double play, 3-6-3. Couple of hops right at him. Actually had the option to step on the bag and then throw to second. But a good throw to Bianchi and an easy double play.
So it wipes out the base runner, and now Rizzo at the plate with 2 gone. And hit hard to right. That's going to get to the wall. And Rizzo on his way to second. A 2-out double. Some hard hit balls in this inning by the Cubs.
Hey, come out to Miller Park for the final home game of 2013. That's Sunday against the Cardinals at 7:05 p.m. The game time was changed. It was a 1:10 p.m. start. Now 7:05. All fans in attendance get a scratch-off card revealing something for every fan. Visit Brewers.com/fan appreciation for details.
Schuerholz with 2 away. 5-1 Cubs on 13 hits.
How things going against Anthony Rizzo since I've said that the Brewers pitching staff
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Handled him well. 3 for 4 since I said that.
A double and 2 singles.
If anybody up here should know better than that, it's me.
Yeah, I'm usually the one who's putting the hex on what's going on the field. Little cue shot. Hand pounces on it. Can he make a play? Throw to first is in time. Nice play, Hand, to win the inning, but the Cubs add 1 more to it. Home run by Bogusevic makes it 5-1. Inning, and the Brewers down 4, and last licks here for Milwaukee. Kevin Gregg, their closer, who's had a very good year after being released by the Dodgers out of spring training, trying to finish it all for Chicago.
Yeah, 32 out of 37 in the save department for Kevin Gregg. 59th appearance and a very good earned run average, under 3.
Gregg will face Carlos Gomez to start it. Gomez homered in the 7th. Hadn't been a whole lot going on offensively for the Brewers. Just 4 hits. Ramirez, Gomez, Bianchi doubled. And Sean Halton had a pinch hit double. Jake Arrieta in line for the win, and Kyle Loesch on the hook for the loss. And it's hard to figure that Loesch continues to struggle against the Cubs. A career ERA around 5. And
he talked about that. I mean, this year he's been pretty good. It's been that one start. And one start he made in Chicago, gave up 7 runs, but the other 2 starts this year were pretty good.
Yeah, got a win against the Cubs. 7 earned runs will do that to you, as Gregg deals strike 1 to Gomez.
You got to kind of look into the statistics. Sometimes you can have those big earned run average. It's maybe, 2 or 3 starts throughout a career that kind of blows up that earned run average.
So you're saying there's more to the story than just the surface stats.
You got to dig a little bit.
I like that.
You look at the stats and you say why. You look into it and it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Gomez called out on strikes. First out of the inning.
Man, that pitch looked like it caught plenty of the plate. High enough. Strike 3.
Aramis Ramirez.
who has a hit. He had the first hit of the day for the Brewers in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Well, got some pennant race games tonight to keep an eye on. The Yankees and Blue Jays. Good one in Boston tonight. Red Sox and the Orioles. Orioles have their ace up, Chris Tillman, tonight, who was 16-6 this year. John Lackey, who's been good for the Sox. And then the Rays and the Rangers tonight as well. Into center field, and that's going to be caught by Sweeney, down to his knees to make the play for the 2nd out. Well, not a whole lot to choose from today, but our shining moment of the game for the Brewers, brought to you by the Marshfield Clinic. A Carlos Gomez homer in the 7th.
Got him on the board. Brewers need 4 more of those.
Might as well make it 5 at this point.
Yeah.
Logan Schaefer with 2 away. Back at it tomorrow at Miller Park. On the air at 6:30 for Brewers Live. And the Cardinals are here. Final 3 games of the home schedule. Brewers have had a nice homestand. Even with a loss today with 1 more out, the Brewers taking 2 out of 3 from the Reds. The first 3 games of this Cub series. 5 out of the first 7 with 3 to play against St. Louis. Oh, 2 the count. Just got a piece. Rockies Cardinals still tied at 4 in the 5th. Dodgers with a chance to be the first to clinch. They are trailing the Diamondbacks. 4th inning at 6-4. A lot of offense there. Logan Schaefer will be featured on Brewers Live tomorrow. And a look at Phantom Cam from a mechanic's perspective. Two and 2. And Schaefer takes ball 3. Cubs are headed home after this game. They'll start a series with the Braves tomorrow. Short drive down 94. And there's a called strike 3, and the ball game is over. And Logan Schaefer not pleased the way that ended. Chad Fairchild's going to
have finger pointing. Finally calls a 3rd strike, and upset that Logan Schaefer doesn't agree.
Just call the strike and
just walk off.
Just
go into your clubhouse. You don't have to worry about it. Logan Schaefer's just fine. Leave him alone and go get dressed. That's all it takes.
So this is how the game ends. Schaefer up there battling, and Fox Track's headed at the bottom of the strike zone,
which hasn't been a strike all day.
So Kevin Gregg finishes it out, and the final 5-1. Brewers Live coming up. The Cubs salvage the final game of the series. Brewers take 3 out of 4. More coming up from Miller Park after this.